Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Big Blue Offensive Podcast with Mike Trainer, Jay Jules, and John Depot. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the BBO MYG Podcast. I am Mike. Jules and John, they're not here with me this week. They took the week off. I think both of them actually went to Cabo. They went to go riding on some ATVs. They went to go sightseeing. So yeah, we'll talk about that whole McKinney situation that went down. But enjoy your time off, guys. Hopefully you see a lot of shit out there. We'll talk about the picks. We'll do the pick segment. Talk about the preview of the game, some OBJ talk, some Barkley talk. We'll get into all that, but let's start off with that McKinney incident. Pretty crazy, man. It just seems like the Giants have like no luck. I mean, Plaxico shoots himself in the leg. We were like 10-1. We're gonna win back-to-back Super Bowls. He does that crazy shit to himself, all because he went to pick up Ahmad Bradshaw, and Ahmad Bradshaw kind of lived in, a place where I think he previously got robbed like a couple weeks before. So Plax just brought a gun just in case. But he kept it on him, kept it in his jogging pants that he wore to the club for some strange reason, and he shot himself in there. And then Mayor Bloomberg, the biggest dick on the planet, had to make an example out of him. He fucking shot himself, Bloomberg, you dick. And he put him in jail. Listen, I get the laws were crazy for, unlawful carry or whatever, but he shot himself, man. Know the circumstances. Bloomberg, probably a Philly fan or a Cowboys fan, so F him. I still hate Bloomberg for that. Then we had another instance where JPP, he's like down in Florida and he's just like decides to light off some fireworks, nothing crazy. I don't know what the hell he had in there. I don't know if it was like 50 pounds of M80s, but my man just blew off all his fingers. I think he had like 2 fingers left. He looked like that the white guy in the scary movie, the parody movies, where he had his like little fingers. You ever see that? He's like dipping his fucking like 2.5 fingers in the mashed potatoes. And he's trying to make the girl taste it. It was like with the Damon Wayans brothers. So JPP fucked that up. And he was a little bit evasive, what I remember. He didn't want the Giants doctors visit him in the hospital, try to kept it all under wraps. So now that brings me to the McKinney situation. Trust me, I see it all over Giants Twitter, social media. There's two different groups of people, going the Giants. I tell you, Giants Twitter just love to like fight and just love to bicker with each other. It's crazy. And you have one side that's like, oh, McKinney, he's young, he's enjoying his time off on his bye week. He just made a mistake. You got that side. And then you got the other side's like, yo, it's in your contract. You're not supposed to do this. Okay, you might, if you get away with it in the off season, maybe that's one thing, but to do it on your bye week, that's another. You're leaving your teammates out to dry, blah, blah, blah. So we have those two sides going back and forth at it. Listen, I'm kind of somewhere like in the middle. It sucks losing this guy because he's a very important player on our defense. And trust me, if this was a practice squad player and he did this, his bags would be packed and be waiting for him to be released. Okay, let's not sugarcoat it. It's just McKinney's happened to be one of the best players on the Giants. So, they're gonna keep him around. I assume they're gonna probably fine him, but most likely it'll be in-house. We won't really hear about it. I really doubt that. Because the Giants, they won't cut him. The Giants do the right thing as an organization. They treat their players pretty good. They treat them like family. That goes from top to bottom. Everybody that works there, they always have like good things. Even the people that get fired from there, they always have like nice things to say about them. It's always the people that don't get hired got some kind of nasty shit to say. The Giants are a racist organization. They suck, this and that. Riddick, Lewis Riddick, people like them out there. But Giants, they're a first class organization. So they're gonna have to support him. But trust me, they're livid in that building about what he did. And you just don't do that. It's in your contract. You know what I'm saying? Like with I'm in sales, right? And I work for a beer company. So it's in my contract that I don't get a DWI. I don't drink and drive. If I drink and drive and they catch me, I'm out. I'm out of a job. It's in my contract. I signed it. Okay. I know this. I knew that when I got the job, when I was, So, I mean, the people saying like, oh, it's just a mistake, this and that. Like, come on, man. Like, it is in his contract. He's supposed to obey it. You see all these horror stories. I mean, God, look on 87 in the Bronx. All the people on the ATVs and shit. All the kids on the ATVs going up and down, messing with traffic. The fucking people falling off. That shit. It's not like he's. I don't know. I don't know if it was safe or not. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure he wasn't doing donuts and shit in the Cabo beaches, but my man was very elusive, very evasive on the interview when the Giants beat writers were asking the question like how did it happen, how did he get hurt. Very evasive. Just kept saying he was sightseeing. I'm like, all right, man, you don't crush your fingers sightseeing, which leads me to believe, all right, maybe he's doing wheelies and he fell back. When he was up in the air, he fell back and tried to brace himself and he crushed his fingers. Okay. That could have happened. Or he could be trying to protect somebody that was driving. Maybe he was on the back. Maybe that person driving, maybe it was a family member. I don't know if any other Giants teammates went with him to Cabo. I don't have any confirmation on that. So I don't know if he's protecting another player and he fell off. But I tell you, either way, tragic, tragic for the Giants, man, for the team. He let the team down. We're in the middle of the playoff hunt. A
Playoffs?
bye
Don't
week
talk
is
about
just it's just about
playoffs.
really like, all right, unwind, get away maybe a little bit. Don't do nothing stupid. You know, you're supposed to get your body right. And yeah, he definitely let the Giants and the team, the players, coaches, definitely let him out to dry. And I don't know if people on Giants Twitter or social media would ever recognize that, but yeah, sure, it was a mistake. It was stupid. But when you're an adult and you're playing a professional sport and you're calling yourself a professional, you know what I mean? They tell you things not to do. It's not just like it's like fine print. It's not like that terms of service crap we always agree to when we want to play the next Madden. You know what I'm saying? It's not like that. They tell you. They tell you what not to do. And my man went out there and did it. He's lucky, that his hand didn't get. I mean, from what I hear, his fingers got crushed. I mean, originally they said on when I found out it was a broken hand, they said originally like 4 weeks. I'm like, there's no freaking way he's coming back in 4 weeks with a broken hand. It's more like 8. So most likely his season is over. I don't think he's coming back this year. And we'll see what happens next year. So with that being said, next man up, Julian Love is going to be calling the plays on defense. He's got that responsibility now. Dane Belton, the rook, he's going to come in. Wink Martindale was saying great things about him, saying he could fly, saying he kind of made it a point, like saying Dane's always, he's always doing the right thing, almost like a kind of a mini shot to McKinney, if you think about it, if you read between the lines, because Wink with that defense has the defense rolling. He was definitely not too happy to hear this news. coming back from a bye week. Let me tell you. But anyway, next man up. Giants come back. They play Houston. Giants. The line opened up. Giants were favored by 6.5. I think it dropped to 5 now. If you guys want to do a bet, I would bet the Giants money line. I think they'll win, but I do not think they'll cover. Anytime the Giants are like favored by like -6, -5, trust me, they never cover. And you see the way they play all year round. The comeback kid, Daniel Jones in the fourth quarter. So I can see this game being pretty close throughout the whole game. Houston's no, they're good, man. They got a good team, man. Mills is playing decent. He playing well on that Thursday night for most of the game against Philly until Philly kind of like late in the game took over, especially in the second half. But you got to watch out for Houston. Pierce, he's an angry runner, according to Wink. So you got to watch out for that. But yeah, I would take Houston with the points, and I would take Giants money line and win both bets. But I'm a betting man, so that's what I would do. So the preview of that game, besides that, we got guys like Shane Lemieux. He's coming back. That's great for our offensive line. And if this line shapes up to be, Thomas, Lemieux, even Gates maybe takes over at center, the more playing time he gets, for Johnny Boy, who knows? We need Neal to come back pretty soon. He's still rehabbing that knee. So hopefully he gets back to be our other bookend on the right side. And then Glowinowski's having a decent year, man. You don't really hear a lot about him. But as long as we got Barkley and Jones, we'll be in every game. And as long as we have a new punt returner, because that shit that went down a couple weeks ago in Seattle was pathetic. Without that, we're in that game. And, you know, even with just one, if he fumbled that one time in the beginning, that's fine or whatever. We're down by 7. We're getting the ball back. It's Daniel Jones time. It's Barkley time. Fourth quarter, my man fumbles again. And he wasn't even like holding on to the ball, which is like, he's kind of just like let it loose, like almost like the fix was in. But yeah, I could see like, the kid we got from the Lions, Pimpleton. He's fast as lightning. So maybe he gets the shot. I know Darnay Holmes in practice was running the back. So we'll see where they go. That's going to be very interesting to see who gets that first punt return action. I hope it's Pimpleton, man. I like his game, man. He's a fast dude, man. Fast dude. Besides that, we'll see how the secondary, responds to safeties, obviously. We'll see how they do. I'm interested to see how well Dane Belton plays, if he plays the majority of the game. So maybe we do have something there that this McKinney loss won't be that big of a deal. So time will tell on that. At least we're kind of playing like the soft schedule the next 2 weeks. But then then McKinney's going to miss the division games. And we start playing the Philly, the Washington, Dallas, like on Thanksgiving. So we'll see how this team responds, man. But I tell you, all year it's been next man up pretty much. Besides Shane coming back on offense, you got Galladay. He's coming back. I think everybody's like hyped up on the Galladay train now that Tony's been traded. It really sucks for Daniel Jones, man. He went into the season with like, all right, Kenny Galladay's supposed to be like our vertical threat. You just chuck the ball up in the air to him, he'll catch it. Tony, so elusive. He's gonna be our stud wide receiver, especially in the slot. Shepard, old man Shepard coming back healthy. He was gonna be our guy. And then boom, Shepard goes down with an injury. Galladay, his knee, everything else. Tony gets traded, and we get nobody to replace him at the trade deadline. Even though they try to make some moves at the trade line, didn't really work. So I don't think they were going to go, give out second round draft picks for anybody. So I agree with that. You can't really do that when you're kind of rebuilding, but at the same time, we're in a playoff hunt, man. We're in a playoff hunt. So that reminds me, elephant in the room, Odell Beckham Jr. Man, the reunion is possible. Remember, we said this on the podcast. We got some inside information 4 weeks ago. If you look up our Twitter account at the BBO NYG podcast, October 11th, 12th, or something around there, I said it. I said the Giants, Odell Beckham, would want a multi-year deal. Now you're seeing that come out. And for those cap experts out there that always sweating the cap for some reason, like it's your money, we have the money next year, the year after, to go sign an Odell Beckham. I mean, I don't think it'll be a lot of guaranteed money. I'm sure they'll be loaded with incentives. I'm sure the third year will probably be a team option or maybe even a player option. Could be. Could work out that way. We'll see. But where there's smoke, there's fire, man. And if the Giants go out and get Odell Beckham, first off, I don't think people should really think it's going to be Odell of 2014, 2016, you know? I think it'd be perfect to move the chains, you know? First down guy, you know? It's not going to be like Odell takes a slant to the house. He might take slants for like 20, 30 yards, which is fine. Move those chains, but I don't think he'll be that guy that takes it to the house when he comes back. At least not yet. I mean, two ACLs and shit, banging up your knees. You know, it's a little rough. But he did come back after one, and he played well in the Super Bowl. You got to give it to him. And the Giants' biggest need is a wide receiver. Let's face it. If you could sign him off the street without having to give up any draft capital whatsoever and get this guy in the building, let me tell you something. It'll be one hell of a reunion, one hell of a story in New York. It would literally blow up New York. I know there's rumors about Cowboys, Jerry Jones, wanting Odell Beckham. But I tell you what, if Odell Beckham went to the Cowboys, ooh, man, you don't do that if you're a former Giant. You know what I'm saying? I'll just leave it at that. There'll be a lot of hate. Let me tell you. I tell you, man, it's the license. Yeah, I think the license plate, man. I think that's why am I? Why does that sound weird? License plate, man, from Giants Twitter, Instagram, all that shit. The fan with the license plate. Is it license plate, man? Why does that sound weird to me? Anyway, when he was talking to Odell Beckham on Twitter, the Gettleman guys, the haters came after him underneath his Twitter account. They were all like, Odell, come back. Gettleman ain't here no more. He's gone. He's gone. And I tell you, man, it just gave me confirmation that the people that only hate Dave Gettleman is the ones that it's because they think he traded OBJ. And I'm here to tell you, it's not necessarily the case. Gettleman did sign him. They wanted to keep him here. But I think OBJ's antics with everything that went on, it was too much for a while, and they had to let him go. So once again, I'll just leave that as where it is. But I'm going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to get back with some more stuff. We won't have a haters club, but I'll definitely come after the do the picks. Try to make you guys some money. We'll be right back. All right, we are back on the BBO NYG podcast. I am Mike. Like I said, the guys, Jules and John, enjoy your time off during Cabo sightseeing on some ATV tours. Don't break any fingers, guys. Hopefully, be back next week. So, there's a little situation going on now with the Giants. There's rumors going around that they're looking to extend some Giants players. So Barkley's definitely the main topic. I know there's the cap experts out there. Like, what would you give Barkley? Would you give him 25 million a year? Would you give him 15 million a year? Would you give him 10? I'm like, I don't know. Like, I don't work there. You know what I'm saying? Like, what difference does it matter to me? I don't care how much money he makes. Yeah, you guys make it sound like it's, by paying him, it's gonna clog up some stud wide receiver or some stud linebacker that's gonna come into Giants Stadium next year. You know what I mean? It doesn't work that way. We have to draft guys to get those stud players on the team. Like if you look around free agency, man, like you could have all the money in the world, like the Bears will have next year, and if you don't draft well, you can't just patch up guys by signing them on free agent deals for your team. You know what I mean? If an NFL team lets a guy go and they're free agents, 9 times out of the 10, he's not that great, and we probably should have learned that. Sure, we'll hit on a couple guys here and there, like an Adoree Jackson, you know, but then you have the opposite side of the spectrum where we don't hit. Right now Kenny Galladay, big money, so I don't like going that route. I'd rather go through build the team through the draft, build a young team like we're doing now, and pay those guys. Pay the guys that deserve it. And Barkley's one of them. You pay that guy. Okay. He's the heart and soul of this team. He's legitimate, one of the best players in the NFL. Not just one of the best running backs, one of the best players. I don't I I see people on Twitter that say, "Oh, Barkley, he's just a running back. You don't pay running backs. We could win a Super Bowl with running backs by committee." Like, I got to tell you guys, like, you have no clue. You're clueless. You have to be some of the dumbest fans out there. Like, and I'm sorry, like, some of them are my friends, but I have to call you call you out like I see it. Like, you don't understand the game. Like, then if you don't think Barkley is worth the money or worth the second contract or worth being drafted number 2 overall, look at that draft now. Look at that draft. Most of you guys wanted Sam Darnold. Baker Mayfield went before him. Some of you guys wanted we could have got Nelson. Yeah, look how Nelson's playing this year. That guard doesn't look so well. He kind of fell off. But Barkley's still going. It's a shame Barkley had those injuries. Otherwise, Lord knows what he would have right now. How many yards, how many touchdowns. Dude's a stud. We drafted one of the best players in the NFL, and some of you all complaining, saying, "Oh, we could win the Super Bowl with just any running back." It's just nonsense. It's pure nonsense, pure stupidity. There's people with that shtick that are still at that they refuse to call him by the name. Oh, the blunder, they call him a blunder. I'm like, and then we go after him. We call them, "Yeah, you're a fake fan." Yeah, you can't to call yourself a fan, a real New York Giant fan. You can't be acting like that towards not only Barkley, but Barkley's one of the best players that we've ever had. And he's still dogging him. Like that's why I can't stand some of you people, man. Because you're so stupid and so stubborn that now he's back. Now that he's not injured, now you're remembering how much of a study is, and you still can't get it. You know what I mean? You still can't get it through your dumb heads. It's pathetic, man. I'm hoping they sign Barkley to whatever he wants. Keep him here. Once a Giant, always a Giant, only a Giant. Keep him here, man. People like him don't come around that often. Think we could sign like we'll get a fourth round running back, no problem. That'll be fine. Get the hell out of here. And then another guy we should sign is Daniel Jones. Give him a 3-year deal. You know, and I know the way this organization is going to do it. I know this coaching staff, they're going to get a quarterback for the future, regardless if they give Daniel Jones a contract extension or not. Okay, they're going to have somebody that they're going to want to groom because it's important. You should. That's the way you should have it because you never know. I mean, I know people were going after Malik Willis, which I found it funny, like the Titans guy. there was people because he started against KC Sunday night. That game was Tennessee was winning, but it wasn't because of Malik Willis. You know what I'm saying? It's because of the running game with Derrick Henry and so forth. But some people on Giants land wanted Malik Willis at 5 or 7. 5 or 7 in the first round. The only reason why they wanted that because let's face it, they're Daniel Jones haters. That's all it comes down to. Okay. They didn't watch Liberty games, Malik Willis throwing the ball and running around. The only time they see Malik Willis was when his underwear at the combine. They're like, oh my God, he could throw a deep ball. Fucking 60 yards. Yeah, we got to get him. And he's fast. I tell you, man, like, there's some people, like, I would love to, if you guys know, like, any receipts where these people were saying Giants should take him at 5 or 7, send them to the BBO MYG podcast Twitter feed. Like, I got to know because how could you be that stupid? Like, I can't even believe, I don't believe they're that dumb or stupid. I just think they just hate Daniel Jones that much that they just wanted somebody else there. That's the only reason. There's no logical explanation besides your hate for Daniel Jones that you would want Malik Willis as your quarterback. You know what I'm saying? I mean, 5 or 7, I was blown away by that. And I seen it not just like once or twice. I seen it a lot. Like, have you guys ever watched like college football? Crazy. Crazy, man. All right, but I'll get off that shtick. But extend these guys, man. Extend Julian Love. Extend these guys. All right, we're not gonna do the Haters Club segment this week because Jules and John ain't here. Plus, nobody pissed me off this week. You know what I'm saying? I was looking around. I'm like, yep, no haters or debaters, really. Nobody really pissed me off. So we'll skip it this week. I'm sure the haters and debaters will be back next week. But it's that pick 'em time. We gotta do the pick segment. And I'm gonna do it all by myself. I'm gonna pick all the games, all the key bets, and I do another pick 'em pool for money. You have to pick every game with the spread. And so far I've been averaging like, I've been going like 7-5, 8-4. I've always been above 500, but I think this is the week where there's always 1 or 2 weeks where I go like 13-1 or 14-1. You know what I'm saying? And I think this is the week. I think this is the week I'm gonna do it. So here we go. First game. First game is a Thursday night game. Atlanta is in Carolina to face the Panthers. Falcons are -2.5. I'm gonna take Carolina. Carolina with the points at home. Thursday night game. It's always a home team that kind of like they play pretty well. They always get the W's if you look at it. Short week. Atlanta, yeah, they got a good offense, but they got a good offense because they run the ball well. Carolina, they got a good front. They could stop the run, make what's his name, Mariota pass the ball. He's not the most prolific passer in the NFL because he'll throw a couple picks. I like Carolina getting the points. Next game, Tampa Bay. They're at home. They're actually home, but in London. They're the home team. They face the Seahawks. Seahawks with Geno Smith. I still don't know how they're fucking doing it. I really don't. But then again, Seahawks, they got a good overall like team. You know what I mean? But they faced Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay came from behind last week with that win. I think Tampa Bay gets another win. I think Tom Brady, those wide receivers gets on track. I'm going to go with Tampa Bay -2.5. Now for the 1 o'clock games, we got Miami. They're at home. Cleveland's coming to town, face the Dolphins. Fucking Dolphins. I tell you, man, they played the Bears. Like they were scoring points at Bears game last week against the Dolphins. Fucking Tua's having like he's throwing up some crazy fantasy points. Browns, I like their offense. I like Nick Chubb running the ball. I like Cooper, but I think the Dolphins cover and they win, probably win by like 7 or 10 points. But I think it'll be another high scoring game. All right, next game. Chiefs are at home. Chiefs, if you watch the Chiefs, man, their defense is suspect. And they're playing the Jaguars this week. Chiefs are -9.5 at home. Jacksonville is one of those sneaky teams where they can throw up points. They got a decent defense. I'm taking the 9.5 with Jacksonville. Jacksonville, it is. All right, next game. Steelers are at home. Steelers are getting a point and a half. The Saints are coming it down. I've been going back and forth on this game. They have a stat like I think uh, Mike Tomlin has beat every NFL team except the Saints. And you know what? I think that streak does not continue. So I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think he's going to get his first win against the last remaining NFL team that he needs a victory against. Even though the Saints do scare me, it's a weird game, man. I wouldn't bet on it, but if you have to bet on it, take the point and a half. Maybe the Saints win by one and you cover your spread. All right, next game. Ooh, Titans, they're at home. Hopefully Tannehill's back. I don't want to see Malik Willis play, especially against the Broncos defense. If Tannehill plays, I'm on the Titans all day. Titans got a team, man. They're well coached. They got a good team, good defense, power running game who just wears down defenses. You got to take the Titans, man, because Lord knows Russell Wilson. I don't know what the hell he's doing over there in Bronco land. So Titans it is. Next game. Ooh, Giants on here. Giants are home. They're -4.5 on the site. I think I said it was like 6.5. It kept going down and down. I think the Giants win by a field goal, like I said earlier. So I'm taking the Texans getting 4.5 points. Never take the Giants when they're favored like that. There's always something. Plus, they're on CBS. Something weird about those CBS games when they're on Channel 2. You got to go with the Texans, but the Giants will win. Giants by a field goal. Let me tell you, 24-21 or 23-20. You know what? 23-20. That's why I like this week. All right, next game. Bills. They're at home. They're -3.5 against the Vikings. It's coming on the feed that Josh Allen, messed up his elbow against the Jets. It's like a sprained elbow. Vikings, man, Vikings play good, but you got to take Vikings with the points here. Even up in Orchard Park, up near Canada, you got to take them because who knows with Josh Allen? I don't know what it's going to be like. Or do we really trust Case Keenum to go in there to play to keep up with the Vikings offense? I don't know. You got to take Vikings with the points here. All right, next game. Bears are at home against the Lions. Bears got Chase Claypool. They were throwing to him, trying to get him involved in the offense. He had a couple pass interference calls. Bears almost had that game against the Dolphins last week. They played him tight. Fields actually looked pretty good. It's funny when you give these quarterbacks, weapons. It's funny how magically they all of a sudden they look better. So I'm going to roll with the Bears at home, -2.5 against the Lions. Lions, they traded Hawkinson. I don't know how they beat Green Bay last week. I don't know. Rodgers just kept throwing picks in the end zone for some fucking reason. Looks like you don't even want to play football anymore. But we'll get to that game later. But the Bears it is. We'll take that Bears. I'm actually taking the Bears as a money ball pick. I'm taking the Texans as a money ball pick. And I'm taking Tampa Bay as a money ball pick. So I got one more money ball pick to go. All right, next game. Raiders. They're at home. They're playing the Colts. Colts fired their head coach. They're going with Jeff Saturday. Whether you agree with that hire or not, I think it's actually a good hire. The Ursay went with a guy that he knew for like 12, 13 years. Somebody that he trusts. Going that route. I don't care what all the racist people say. You seen that on social media, like the Joy Taylors and I think what's her name? Jamel Hill, of course. If he's not black, they throw a panic fit. Meanwhile, the Colts had like one of the best black head coaches ever. Tony Dungy won him a Super Bowl, but whatever. So that's for another discussion, another time. Raiders, they're -6 at home, but dude, Raiders just looks like shit too. It's a tough game. Very tough game. I want to take the Raiders, but do the Colts like actually come out and play hard for Saturday and keep it a close game? It's really a coin flip, but I'm going to take the Colts. Colts getting the points. Maybe Saturday hypes them up a little bit. Anytime you see a coaching change like that, you know, you got to run with that team. So I still think they lose, but maybe the Colts, maybe they cover somehow, like backdoor cover late in the game. We'll see. So Colts it is. All right, next game. Rams are at home. They're -1.5 against the Cardinals. I want to take the Rams so bad because the Cardinals been like shit this year. But there's something about when the Cardinals play the Rams, this game's going to be a lot closer than what people think it will be. I actually think the Cardinals win outright. So I'm going to run with the Cardinals. All right, next game. Here it is. Here's the game I was talking about. Cowboys, they're in Green Bay. Cowboys are -5. Now, once you think like the way things are going with the Packers, that the Cowboys would be like at least -8, -10, but it's -5. So I could see, listen, I could see the Cowboys, winning. They've been playing pretty good football. I gotta admit, but I could see them winning like a 24-20 game. Green Bay is at home. You know what I mean? They're not on the road, so I'm gonna go with the Packers getting the points. I mean, I'm hoping to God the Packers win. Hopefully, Rodgers. I don't think he could get any worse than what he looked like last week. So we're gonna ride with the Packers this week. All right, next game. I love this game. 49ers are at home. They're -7 against the Chargers. I'm taking the 49ers, and I'm taking that as a key bet. I think Debo's back this week. I mean, what a difference that McCaffrey made last week when San Fran played the Rams, huh? McCaffrey, couple touchdowns. He's throwing touchdowns. And what another weapon for Garoppolo over there. Garoppolo, I mean, Garoppolo, let's face it, he's not a good quarterback. Like, you know what I mean? He'll make these dumb mistakes where he throws picks like in the wrong situation. Of course, he cost his team a Super Bowl. But look at all the weapons he has, man. He does these little screen passes to Debo. Debo takes it to the house. Now he's got McCaffrey to do the same thing. Then don't forget you got Kittle, tight end, when he's not helping out blocking. He's going outside. He's a big target for this guy. I mean, 49ers, they're starting to heat up. You got to watch out for them coming down the stretch. So 49ers it is. And now the last game, Monday night game. Eagles are at home. They're -11 against the Commanders. Guys, I'm going to say it here. Take the Commanders with the points and take the Commanders money line. I think Washington upsets Eagles. You got to watch out for Washington's defensive front. It's going to cause havoc to Hurts, and he's going to make a little bit of mistakes. I seen that direction, especially Houston. When Houston got a little pressure last Thursday night, yeah, he didn't look so good in the first half. Even like late in the third quarter, he really didn't look good. Hurts like most of the game until like he had 7 seconds, which is ridiculous. There was a couple of plays where he had like all day to throw. I mean, when you have 7 seconds to throw the ball, somebody's bound to get open. You can't just and for a lot of times in the game, he was missing guys like wide open. He's throwing ducks at their feet. So I'm not a big believer in this Eagles team. I think they're a product of being undefeated because of the way their schedule fell early in the year. So yeah, Washington it is, man. I almost want to switch the 49ers bet Moneyball pick to the Washington Commanders, but I'm telling you, on Monday night, I'm taking the Commanders straight up with the points and straight up on that money line. All right, guys, those are my picks. It's in. Yeah, I bet all these picks on like the FanDuel. And if you ever do like on the FanDuel on these apps, you could do like round robins, like the different parlays. So I put like some crazy bet in there, like dollar, $2 on 11 times 5 round robin parlays. So it means like 11 out of all the games have to hit and they go back and forth. It's some crazy shit like that. But for like $2 or $3 to do kind of like a round robin, it turned out like the bet was like something like $287, but I could possibly win like $958,000, some fucking crazy shit like that. So listen, I'm not telling you what to do, but I don't know, man. I think this might be the week. This might be the week. So hopefully these games hit and be nice. Be nice to win some money for the holidays. You know what I'm saying? So I could buy some ATVs for Jules and John. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's it. That's it. That is it for the BBOMYG podcast. Next week, next week the boys will be back. We'll get the Haters Club back. But until now, till then, go Giants. We got to get that W. This, everybody was saying like this NFC East was the NFC least, but now we got Philly, Dallas, and the Giants. So they're not laughing at us anymore. So like and subscribe on the podcast, and follow us, and hit us on the DMs and the DMs if you ever want to be, if you're comfortable enough talking and want to be a guest on the show. We're always like looking at guests, possible guests to come on. So if you got the balls, you want to come on to the podcast, you know what I mean? Hit us up. But until then, we'll see you again next week. Go Giants. Peace.